your DLD Digital Life Conference, I was so impressed to see all these different people coming together from very different domains and discuss and prepare the future. So in addition, you're quite an established woman, and I know you're one of the 100 most influential business women in Germany, and in particular also extremely good friends. So Steffi, welcome. Let me start with your DLD conference and the idea behind it. So you co-founded this Digital Life Design Conference in 2005, really to connect with different domains. Can you give us an overview, an idea why you did it, and what you think why it's so important to us, to the public, to everyone?
Thank you, dear Andrea. I'm very honored to speak in this wonderful circle tonight. Today. It's good morning and good evening. We have an international audience, so I'm very ready. You asked me why I founded DLD. DLD stands for Digital Life Design. And if you remember, 2005 was 10 years after the internet started to be a consumer good, a consumer media. And 10 years after the start, it was a little bit, how to say, it was slowing. People say, oh, this internet, we don't know what it's going to do. Many critics, many negative vibes was, and I said, no, digitalization will change our world completely. And let's bring together the people who are changing this world, our world, bring together the most important personalities of this world. So I invited Mark Zuckerberg when he had only 2 million users. I invited the WhatsApp founder. I invited a mix of interesting people who shaped the world along this digitalization. But not only them, I invited politicians. For example, the EU Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen was a regular guest at DLD, or I invited artists because I always think that artists are on the forefront of societal change. They are the seismographs if something is changing. IYY, famous artist, he was 2006 for the first time at DLD. So my goal always was to define who are the forerunners, who are the interesting people whom we have to whom we have to watch what's going on with our world. And now DLD is a well-established conference. And to be honest, I'm not so interested anymore in digitalization because I think it's like electricity. It's everywhere. Now we have to think about what's next. What are the next big revolutions? You mentioned it, Andrea. I think quantum will change our world. I think biotech will change our world. Astronomy, you name it, energy is the big thing. What can we do about climate change with the new frontier technologies? This is what interests me. And like a good housewife who loves to throw cocktail parties, I love to bring them all together, give them a good experience. These scientists, the technologists, the politics, give them a good experience, make them talk to each other. And for example, we had 9 years ago, we had a nice Viennese scientist. His name was Anton Zeilinger. And I thought, oh, he's in quantum, he's doing teleportation. Maybe I should do an unexpected thing and connected him to Svante Pääbo, who is a researcher on Neanderthals. And they spoke very nicely about creativity and how there are difficulties and get their science into media. It was a nice panel. I'm so proud this year both got the Nobel laureates, one in physics and one in medicine. This is DLD. Or we had a young singer performing at DLD, I think 2007 or 8. She was the most nicest girl you can imagine. And she wrote a handwritten letter. Thank you, Steffi, for inviting me. Guess who she was? Guess? It was, of course, And now brain is that is it was of course Lady Gaga. She was at DLD, and I have many of these examples. And of course, I'm a media person. I'm a journalist, a trained journalist, and it's important to get the message out. And the reason why I think I'm here in this great audience and this great panel is that we behind DLD there's a media company with 60 German magazines in Germany, with 80 in the UK. We've been the biggest Western publishing group in Russia since 5 years ago, since Crimea. So I like lifestyle media, I like consumer media, and I think this is important for our messages today. If we want to promote prevention, we need media, or not only the high-end media. We need, I don't want to say the low end, but we need the average media, the normal media who is consumed by our neighbors, by our friends, but also by our shopkeepers, whatever. And this is what I love to address. This is what I do.
Thank you. I think you were extremely successful in inviting people to your conference. Many of them got the Nobel Prize. I was really impressed.
Yes. And before they got the Nobel laureates, they came to DLD. This makes me very proud, to find them before. So I'm very proud, Andrea, that you've been at DLD with your wonderful company.
Yeah, I have hopes. Now in our area, Steffi, I think we need to add additional scientific dimensions. For example, today we are starting to be able to diagnose dementia 15 to 20 years before the symptoms really start. We are moving away from imaging to blood markers, etc., etc. We go digital by way. So I think in the future, or in the very near future, we will use digital biomarkers for identifying patients, testing our risk, etc., etc. So the field is sort of moving into more in different dimension. I have great hopes. I really have great hopes that the platform for actually applying a vaccination, which would in fact be the prevention of this terrible disease for the world, would be able, because we have these new ways of diagnosing the disease. Without an early diagnosis, we can, as you know, not prevent the disease. So how can you, with your media network, help us to enhance the awareness? For example, if you use the fingers, that you have a great chance, in particular if you have Alzheimer in your family, to really do something. And it's not tomorrow, it's actually today. So how can we work together with media as a scientist and promote, of course, accurate information, but make sure that the people start to talk? Because whenever I gave seminars, and this happened also to me 2 weeks ago, people came, many people came afterwards and spoke up and said, look, I have a dad, I have a partner, I have a mom, and they have Alzheimer. What can I do? Can you help? But they didn't speak up before. So there is still this sort of fear to speak about mental health in general. Unless we overcome that by opening up this subject, we will not be able to bring down this dementia rate to where we could be. I know you were very successful with the Felix Boda Foundation, which is on colon cancer. So can you tell us what we can do and how you used the Felix Boda Foundation to enhance this awareness? Mm-hmm. I think it would be very helpful.
Thank you, Andrea. Yes, it was a very sad trigger. 2003 or 4, the son of Hubert Burda died of colon cancer. And this was a really sad thing. And we all were so paralyzed about. But after a while, we said, what should we do? Should we fund a science institute? What can we do? And after a while, we realized we are media, and we should put this colon cancer topic, which was definitely not a discussion topic which you would talk about at the dinner table or at the tennis match or whatever. It was out of society. It was out of discourses of conversations. And it was a subject with connotated with shame, with not clean, with whatever. He said, no, we have to change this. Let's Colon cancer is not deadly if you do it, the prevention, if you know about it, if you know that if you early detect it, you can heal it. So what did we do? We find role models, TV stars, musicians, film people, politicians who said, I I do the coloscopy, I do the check it. When we made big advertisements in our media, we asked companies to promote it under their employees. We did a big positive, we connotated it very positive. We said, it's so much fun to take care for ourselves. Do it. Do ask your neighbor whether it's a family thing in his family. Ask him, make it a conversation topic. And when we proposed it to our editors in chiefs, to our colleagues, they were really upset. You can't do it, and you don't do it. But we did, against all odds, against all media odds. And today we are very, very happy. It's really, it made a difference. There's the number of 170,000 people who survived positive tests. So I think it's very important that we get positive messages out, that we find role models where we can connect, where we look up and say, if they do it, we can do it also. The problem with prevention is that you don't see the results very quickly. Your finger model is wonderful. It's wonderful, but how do you activate people? That's the big questions. And I think if we really want to do it, if we engage it for it, we have to integrate media. And we have to tell stories. You can change people's mind with stories. And we have to invent good stories. And we can. Yes, we can. And what you also need, and I'm so impressed by all of you, you need engagement. You need engagement to make the world a better place. And prevention, whether it's colon cancer or whether it's dementia, is a matter of engagement. And we should get out the message that it is rewarding to be engaged, that we can really make a difference.
Yeah, maybe a last question, Steffi. I mean, I was extremely honored to actually get the DLD prize, was the 10th prize.
I tell you, no, Andrea, and interrupt you, because you get the Anna Burda Award for Creative Leadership.
Exactly.
It's to be successful in prevention, you have to be a leader. You have to be a strong leader, fighting prejudices, fighting your own afraidness of doing mistakes. You have to be very open to yourself and to all others. And Andrea, you are a fighter, you are a leader. You fight it against all odds. And now look where you are. You're really a role model, and I'm proud that you accepted the Anna Burda Award for Creative Leadership.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steffi, for saying that. But actually, it was a small introduction to what I wanted to ask you, which is obviously I think it was one of the first scientists getting this prize. And my question was, does this mean that the Burda media are in fact looking into dementia, brain health, health as such, health issues in a broader way? And then what we all would hope for is how can Burda, with all the reach they have to the big public, how can they help us to use the energy you feel in this dialogue, the dedication of the women you speak to? How can we channel this to something to make our world better?
Yeah, as I said, we have to define role models. International, it's not only on the German market. We have to find the big role models which stand up and say, please do something. We can do something. We have the Mia five-finger approach. We have to communicate it. And I'm sure that we can talk about at the World Economic Forum. We can talk about the interesting conferences in the world and bring the ambassadors for this together. I'm very happy to help it. I'm help with it. I'm doing a DLD in Israel in end of January. The DLD in Munich. I'm bringing a big African delegation to Munich. We have to start small, but we have to spread the word internationally. And this is, I think, what we can do together.
Super. Thank you so much, Steffi.